Today we have Uncle Ben for the first episode of I Have a Question for You. Do you think pronunciation is really more important than grammar?
Pronunciation is grammar too.
Okay, when I talk about grammar, I'm talking about rules.
I do think that going abroad is the best way to be fluent.
No, I don't agree. Come on, I don't think so.
We all know that you help people to pronounce words correctly. My question is, who helped you?
Jiangongo. Yeah, Jiangongo was like the goat when it's come to the sounds of English.
So I'd love to know if it's possible to have communication with somebody who has a bad pronunciation.
People sometimes, like communicators, sometimes think communication is about them. That's so selfish. They're full of them. They're full of themselves. You cannot think that way. Come on.
I want to know, what do you think about this big topic, Angolan youth and immediacy? Nowadays, we've been seeing a lot of young, trying to achieve their dream. And then, has Uncle Ben achieved? What's your big dream?
I'm not going to talk about my personal dreams. I'm going to talk about the dream that involves or includes everybody. My dream is to see my country developed, is to see young people working on new cases, solving problems.
We know that there are a lot of young people in our country trying to learn English for years, but not succeed. And so, what do you think? What is the right way to study and learn English?
Everybody has their own way to learn things.
So, who do you consider professional? Someone that is graduated, for instance, in an area. Let's talk about English. Do you consider a teacher someone who is graduated in English teaching, or someone who works as a teacher for a couple of times?
Such an interesting question, and it must be well answered.
Hello everyone, this is a Casa de Fluência podcast, and today we have Uncle Ben for the first episode of I Have a Question for You. So be welcome, Uncle Ben.
Thank you. It's an absolute pleasure to be here with you guys at Casa de Fluência.
Good.
Yeah.
So also thank you for being.
It's always good to have a little bit of laugh. I know that you all laughed, but that's how things work, especially. I think somebody opened.
Yeah. No problem.
Is it okay?
Yeah, that's okay.
Okay, that's okay. I thought somebody was trying to break into the studio.
Yeah, no problem. That's basic. So I would like to thank you for accepting our invitation, and that's an honor. To have
Imagine denying your own kid. You knocked a woman up, a woman you loved, and then that woman comes to you saying that she's pregnant, and you say no. That's not my child. Come on. What kind of person I am?
You are not even a human being.
Yeah, that's it. That's why I couldn't turn you down. Come on.
Okay.
I had to be here.
So I'll be the first one asking the questions here.
No worries.
Okay. So are you ready?
Oh my God. I think I was born ready. Though I couldn't speak when I was born. Yeah.
So well, we all know you as a pronunciation coach, and that's really noticeable from the way you speak, and we really feel like wow when we listen to you speaking. So my first question is about pronunciation. Do you think pronunciation is really more important than grammar?
You are kind of laying it on thick, but it's okay. So I feel honored for that question.
Good.
And let me say that. Such an interesting question, and it must be well answered. Pronunciation is grammar too. Pronunciation is grammar. Why do I think pronunciation is grammar? Because there are words. You can't utter those words without pronunciation.
Okay, when I talk about grammar, I'm talking about rules.
You're talking about rules, and we also find rules.
No, I'm
when it's
talking
come
about grammatical rules, like structure, how we bring the way we bring words.
Yeah, like okay, how words, sentences are structured.
Of course.
Sure thing. So, you said how words are structured. How can you say structured without pronunciation? If you say structured, I might not get you.
No, you know specifically. You know what I mean.
No, come on.
No, you know what I mean. Because in English we have this thing of mastering pronunciation rules and so on.
That's what you want me to talk about the importance.
Okay, no. I want to know if for you pronunciation is is more important than grammar. That's it. When
Of course,
I mention
of course it is.
grammar,
Of course it is. Of course
Oh,
it is.
yeah.
For
Why?
example,
Why?
when you say, if you say, I like dog.
Yeah.
I like dog. If you're talking, if you're not a native speaker and you're talking to your partner, your speaking partner, if he knows you, he will not say that, okay, you're thinking of eating dogs. No, we're not thinking that way, but that's wrong grammar, because in most cases people would say, I like dogs. That's a general idea, which means it can be a German Shepherd, it can be a pit bull, so you love them.
Good.
But if you mispronounce a word, that could, hands down, break down communication. People might not understand you. So you can say you don't know. That's bad grammar. People still get you. But if you say something
Capable.
like capable, I think capable is sort of acceptable, understandable. People still can get you. But when it's come to the word pew, it's confusing. For example, you're talking to somebody and you're sick. You're saying that, oh my God, my son had eaten a peel. Like, your son had eaten a peel? What's it talking about? Is it talking about maybe there was an orange and he was trying to peel the orange and he ended up eating the skin of it? No, that was not the case at all. He ate a pill. But what pill? Is it talking about battery? Is it talking about medicine? So it's confusing, especially when you don't know when a word is supposed to be lengthened or shortened.
Okay, I got you. So there is another question I have for you. Is also related to pronunciation, and the question is, do you think the way we master pronunciation in English can affect negatively our native language?
No, really. It does depend on your priorities. Yeah, it depends upon your priorities. In my case, Portuguese was never my priority. And I can say that it negatively affected my Portuguese.
And when can we consider something as priority?
When you think this is helpful, this could make you some money. So English make me some money, and Portuguese doesn't make me any money. And people are not interested in listening to my Portuguese.
How can you teach a second language in a Portuguese English in a Portuguese speaking country
without mastering Portuguese? It's not. You don't need to master Portuguese to teach English. Many people think that you need to be really good at Portuguese to start teaching English. That's not true.
We have differences in the society. Like there are people they have a high level of Portuguese because of the family they are inserted, and we have people also that live in let's say different reality.
And something that you need to understand. I'm not that good at Portuguese, but I went to school, which means I know a lot of intellectual words. I know how to talk to somebody who also went to school. I know to talk to somebody from the hood. I know how to talk to them. So, which means, given the context, I might adapt or adjust my speech, the vocabulary, even the register. I can do this. But going back to mastering Portuguese or mastering our native language, it doesn't really affect your English. It doesn't, because in English, in Portuguese, it's okay to use with. For example, I'm with my notebook. It's okay. You're really good at Portuguese. So if you say I'm good, I'm with my book, everybody gets you. No one will judge you because you used with. But in English, it sounds a bit preposterous when you go, "Oh, I'm with my book." You're with your book?
What do you mean when you say preposterous?
That means ridiculous.
Ridiculous.
Yeah, that is ridiculous.
Why didn't you say ridiculous?
Come on, that was the first word that came. That was the first word. That's what I keep telling people. Having alternatives is really important. The best way to not get stuck in the middle of conversation is to have alternative. If you don't have alternative, you will always freeze when speaking.
Okay.
You always freeze.
Okay,
So-
good. So I had a couple of questions here with me, but unfortunately I'm not able to ask them
Yeah, okay.
right now because
Okay, that's okay.
I'm on time. So that was a pleasure to talk to you.
Yeah,
so
thank you. All
I'll
the
call
best.
the next one.
Okay, thank
So-
you.
My name is Rebebo, and it's a pleasure to be here with you.
Nice to meet you.
Yeah, thanks. Nice to meet you too. And today I have some interesting questions. But for a long time I was like, keeping it on me, right? And today I have an opportunity to ask for you. The first question is there a very difficult English sound that it was very hard to learn? And just say the reason why that sound is the most difficult English sound. What is and why?
Well, that question is sort of tricky because you want to know the most difficult English sounds I had to deal with. So I wouldn't say it wasn't tricky. It was intricate. It was complex. The schwa sound. Why did I mention this sound? Why do I need to talk about the schwa sound? Because when I started working on my pronunciation, I had to talk to a number of teachers. I wanted to know what they think about this sound. So they told me that the schwa sound holds lots of sounds. And I wondered, how can a sound have many sounds? How can a sound have many sounds? I was confused, utterly confused. I didn't know what to do, so I said, no, I need to start watching movies. I need to watch native speakers. So as an English teacher, when I watch movies, I don't focus on those who tend to speak more informally. I focus on those who speak more formally because as an English teacher, we promote what we call the standard English, the pattern. So I could notice that in the standard English, the schwa sound was never ah. Lots of people say the schwa sound is ah. They say the word, for example, in the word, they say mother, but it's not mother. And if you think it's mother, how about this word? Is it nervous? Like, oh my God, I'm nervous. Oh, you're nervous? You say serious? No way. Nobody says serious. Nobody says nervous. If you think the schwa sound is ah, you're utterly mistaken. And something else, they also say the schwa sound sounds, oh, for example, serious, pilot, develop, but that's not true.
How would you pronounce these words?
No, I'll get back to those words. Don't worry, I'll get back to them. So I had to study really carefully because I've always wanted to be a great communicator, somebody who helps both native speakers and non-native speakers improve their English, their confidence. Even some native speakers are not confident when speaking, so I wanted to work on that. So I discovered that the schwa sound is a relaxed and unstressed sound. Like it's like, oh my God. In Portuguese, when you see something, you go what's happening? Yeah, that's how you do the schwa sound, like So we've got the word pilot. It's not pilot, it's pilot. Develop, no, develop. We've got the word mother. It's not mother, it's mother. That's why Americans say mother. If the schwa sound were pronounced as a, American would have said or pronounced it mother. Oh, that's my mother. That's my brother. Why don't I say brother? They say brother. 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 So brother. I'm talking to my brother. But remember, that's standard English. English we promote. I'm not saying that if a person says or pronounces this word like mother, he wouldn't be understood. Of course, you'll be understood. But for those who want to pronounce words as well as must be pronounced, like focusing on the accurate on I wouldn't say that like accuracy, that's the right word. Those who focus on the accuracy, they know the correct word, or the correct way to pronounce it is even the word, which means people say success. It's not success, it's success. We also have the word succeed. When people say succeed, it's succeed. And this was one of the most complex, difficult sounds I had to deal with, because I even talked to people I looked up to, people I knew were really good at English. Their pronunciation was impeccable, so I had to talk to them. They didn't give me a proper answer, so I had to do it myself. Yeah, I think this is one of the trickiest sounds I had to deal with. Yeah.
So, do you think that is it like strange to see Americans pronouncing like sh sound?
Pardon?
Is it strange to look at American pronouncing well the sh sound?
A trend?
Strange.
Ah, strange.
Yeah.
No, it's not strange. No, it's not strange at all. So it simply depends on the position. For example, if a word ends with er, we know that most in the UK, in Britain, some people are not rhotic. I'm not saying that everybody speaks without pronouncing the R. No, that's not true. But in the standard English spoken in the UK, the R is not pronounced. So they'd say teacher. I'd like to talk to my teacher. So they do not pronounce the R. But if you're somebody who is simply exposed to the British pronunciation, if a person pronounces teacher, it might sound a bit weird to you, but that's how they do it. Simply the rest sound. But when it's come to pronouncing words like correct, it's the same: correct, polite, police, position. We don't say po, it's not position, it's position. Even this word, even the word pronunciation, we don't say pro, it's not pronunciation, it's pronunciation. Pronounce. How do you pronounce this word? Pronounce, not pronounce. So the short sound is there.
Okay,
Yeah.
That's good. I just have a question. Do you think that going abroad is the best way to be fluent in English?
No, I don't agree. Come on, I don't think so. Because there is a. So when you have let's talk about resources we've got today. So do you know that we have many available resources?
Sorry to interrupt you. So because going abroad can expose you to an environment where there are a lot of English speakers, so it can be like have a great influence.
Of course, it does. It does encourage you. It motivates you. It makes you a driven person. Trust me. But the problem is, it also makes you complacent, knowing that okay, when I work up, I'll listen to English. If I go to work, I'll listen to English. So I don't need to read books. I don't need to watch movies. I see people. They speak English. Why would I work my butt off in order to speak English fluently? They don't care. They just want to listen. They want to live it without any effort whatsoever, which is wrong. Let me give you. I was talking about resources in our country. If you go to YouTube, many videos, many English teachers. But the remaining question is, why are people still struggling to learn English? Because they go, oh my God, I've got these resources, so many things, so I might not work hard, because you might even postpone a few things you need to do today. You will put them off, like, I'm not doing this. Even if I don't do this today, I still can find this. I might not watch this video today, but tomorrow the video is still there. But if you only have one option, for example, only one YouTube video, if you knew that this YouTube video could be taken down in a few years or in 2 days, you would do everything you possibly can to watch that video to the bitter and learn from it, because you know that's the only help, the only option you've got. But when you have many options, you tend to get complacent. Let's talk about our brothers living in the United States of America. They've been living there for 7 years, but most of us, we speak better than they do.
Of course. I know some of them.
Yeah.
English, yes.
Yeah, you go, oh my God, but he lives there. No, the problem is people think that moving abroad guarantees. I know it's a great opportunity, a learning opportunity, exposure, but if you're not ready to go for it, if you're not ready to imitate, people think that okay, I just need to listen. As an English teacher, I encourage my students to listen to English every day. But listening is not enough. Imagine listening to somebody every day and you don't do anything about this. You don't imitate. You don't do the shadowing technique. How are you going to improve? For example, if I traveled to an English-speaking country, let's pretend that I can't speak English, so I travel to an English-speaking country. I will, whenever I hear people speaking on the street, I would stop to make sure if I get them. But most of our brothers, when they travel, they don't care about that. They don't want to know what people around them are speaking. They just want to leave. They just want to take pictures. They just want to prove that they landed in America, and for this very reason, most of them don't learn English.
But there's also another side. Some of them come from Angola. Even here, they don't like to study. So, what about if they go there? No, there's not a way to be good at English, even if in your country, in Angola, they weren't used to study. So I think studying is a habit that we used to do something like every time.
But you can change your habits.
Of course.
Given the context, given the situation, because living abroad, it puts you under tremendous pressure. You go, oh my God, I don't have much of a choice. I need to find a better job. So the only way for me to get this to achieve my lofty goals is by learning English. So if you don't learn English, you might not be able to make it. And there are people, they know that English is the only option, the only help they've got, but they still don't try. And some of them try, but they still don't speak it. People think that by just listening, by just living with native speakers, it's
enough.
It's enough. No, it's not enough. Just by living with native speakers, it's not enough for you to be a great English speaker. Let's talk about our brothers from Congo.
I'm sorry.
Okay.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. I hope you are good at all, and then so I am good at all. This is Mr. Knock talking to you, and so today I am with teacher
Uncle Ben, okay. Mr. Responsibility.
Our therapist, okay? And today we have an interesting question just to ask you, teacher. And so the first question is, what is the best way to improve our pronunciation?
Well done. The best way to improve your pronunciation is through imitating. Imitation is the best way one can improve their pronunciation. Though people still downplay, they don't care, they are kind of biased towards that. They think that once you imitate somebody, you want to be like them. Now, it's not about wanting to be like them, because you're learning a new language and you see a person who's really good at English, you go, oh my God, look at him, the way he pronounces words, he does it so powerfully, he does it responsibly. What do I need to do? We owe almost everything we do, we learn them or acquire that through a lick of or modicum of imitation. We imitated it. There was somebody who started doing something. Even Cristiano Ronaldo, he's like the best, one of the best players, football players in the world. But when he started, there was somebody he looked up to. Like, they were great players. Okay, I want to be like that player, so let me try to imitate his moves. Let me see what he does. So, for example, you know that Uncle Ben is good. He pronounces words correctly, and I want to pronounce words correctly too. You have to listen to him, try to imitate him. Because people may say the best way to improve your pronunciation is by reading dictionaries, but no, that's not true. That's not true. No, you need to master the phonemic, the phonemes or phonetic transcription. No, that's not true. You're going to have a headache doing that. I remember a day I told somebody you need to start reading your dictionary, especially the transcriptions. And oh my God, that's all Greek to me. So no, it's not Greek. It's English. That's how you're supposed to pronounce those words.
And you said something very interesting about to imitate someone. So my question is, what is the best people to imitate? Is that like native people? Or?
No. It's not. It's not just about native speakers. And for me, it's you'd better, or I figured it'd be important if you imitate somebody you look up to. Somebody whose voice sounds a bit like yours, because working on your pronunciation can somehow change your voice. I'm not saying it will change it completely because of the tone, the musicality, the prosody, the cadence they use when speaking. You'll also have to acquire it. So by acquiring this, you will also sound a bit like they do. I just want to go back to phonetic transcriptions. It's good. It's good to study them. But before you go to those places, you need to listen. The best way to start learning a new language is to understand what that language sounds like. Imagine working on your English and you don't know what English sounds like. It will be even difficult for you to produce it, because language begins here. You know, what you hear.
Yeah.
So if you can't hear it well, you have difficulty. You have trouble producing sounds. I remember a day it's not a day, come on, it happened a long time ago. We all had the opportunity to listen to Michael Jackson's song. Because we didn't know what English sounded like, we thought that Michael Jackson sang Peter. That was the wrong pronunciation and wrong perception, because we were not used to English. We didn't watch movies in English. We watched movies in English, but not to get something from it. We just watched that for kicks. Yeah, we just wanted to have fun. So, but now we know that it's not Peter. It's beat it, because we were worried about the sound, how a language is supposed to sound like. So that helped us. It shaped our understanding. So when you go to the phonetic transcription, it will be much easier when you have a foundation. I don't think phonetic transcription should be the foundation. The foundation is listening to a real person. Before you go to a dictionary, you need to have a person you listen to. That person can be your teacher, that person can be me, that person can be those teachers on YouTube, and so many other great Angolan teachers. Even some teachers we find at Casa, the Fluência, they can help us with that too. Yeah, that's how it works.
Okay,
yeah.
I got it. And so, as an English teacher you are, I want to know something very interesting. So, we all know that you help people to pronounce words correctly. And my question is, who helped you to pronounce?
Wow, I love it, and I love talking about this. I will keep doing it, because I can get tired of talking about people who actually helped me when I needed the most.
Right.
Of course, no man is on an island. You might say that, oh, I'm so good at this, I got everything on my own. That's not possible. We all need people. Yes. If I do help people, many of you now, you have good pronunciation, you pronounce words correctly, you study English so hard because of me. Most of you do this because of me. So that means there were people I looked up to. So when I went to Kimamwayo, the school I studied, when I went there, my English was quite good. I wouldn't say good, it was quite good.
Okay.
My pronunciation was poor, really bad, trust me. But I could communicate. But there was something missing. Working on your pronunciation helps you understand movies. You might have a huge amount of vocabulary, but if you don't know how to pronounce those words. What are those words for?
Of course.
If you can't pronounce them correctly. So when I started working on my pronunciation, I started to understand native speakers, and I was starting on my own, but it got to a point I thought I knew everything. That's why we all need a mentor, because I was on my own thinking that I was good. So it got to a point where I met this teacher named Giangongo. Yeah, Giangongo was like the goat when it's come to the sounds of English. So when he walked into the room, he wrote countless words on the board.
Okay.
And everybody was adamant that I would pronounce those words correctly, but they were wrong. They said, okay, Zola can do it. Okay, Zola can do it. He said, how do you guys pronounce this word? I said, Portuguese. I don't remember how I did that back then, but I believe I believe that I made a mistake back then, and my teacher corrected me. I said, come on, did I really mispronounce this word? And the other word was innocent.
Right.
I was like, oh my god, innocent. Wow, that sounds so cool. And he started teaching us the sounds of English. Words I didn't know they were pronounced correctly, especially the diphthong O. I didn't know anything about this diphthong. So this diphthong made me sound like a native speaker. Even if you don't want to sound like a native speaker, once you focus on this diphthong, if you go O, like no.
Right.
It sounds different, no, like I don't know, I don't know, like I don't. It's so so fancy. You can say I don't know, but if a person says I don't know, man, that person is like winning. Like the guy has won the lottery. And he was the person who helped me with the basics. So I had a better grasp on the basics because of him, and he suggested a few topics. But most of my classmates were not interested. I was the only one who decided to go deeper. But he was the person who shaped my basics, my foundation, and I studied really hard, and I became the person I'm today. I had to go hard because of him, because I almost gave up on studying the sounds of English because of my classmates. They thought I was exaggerating, they thought I was wrong, but that teacher gave me hope. That teacher told me, look, don't care about those guys, you are doing good. He encouraged me to keep going, to move forward. Because of him, I become the person I'm today. I do talk a lot about pronunciation because of that person, because of that guy. But way before I met him, I knew a lot about the sound of English, but he had some wrong concepts. Okay. Some sounds were not properly pronounced. Even when I went deeper into that, I started asking him questions. He even said, "Come on, you're really good." So he complimented me. He said that I was like I was like the best student, the person who really devoured everything he had taught me. And I didn't stop there, because I wish I could study with him like a lot longer, but I couldn't do that because of COVID. When COVID hit, we all had to be quarantined, so we went back home. People were scared. They were thinking of the end of the world. I was not scared at all. I know the world was not going to end. So I started studying the sound of English alone. With all the tips he gave me, I used his tips, and I started watching the BBC World News, and that's when my pronunciation changed. And that was the person who really helped me shape my pronunciation.
Okay, it's good. So the last question is, in this moment, there are many people watching this podcast, and so what is your advice for those one who want to achieve just to be like you? So what is?
I'll give them a piece of advice I got from a friend. A friend of mine named Afonso once told me I wanted to be like him. I wanted to be like him because he was really good. Yeah, he was my inspiration. His English was, oh my God, amazing. So I wanted to be like him. He told me, come on, you can't be like me. You've got to be better. When he told me that, I even tried harder. Whenever I see somebody someone who's really good at something. If that person does what I do, I always compete with them. I do not compete with them in order to harm them, to tarnish their reputation. No, I compete with them without them knowing.
Of course.
The competition is within me. So I compete with myself, thinking of them like, okay, they're really good at this, they do this, they speak English impeccably. So how can I do what they do? So if you want to be like me, try to be better, watch my videos, focus on how I pronounce words, focus on the vocabulary I use. If you see that Uncle Ben is kind of slow, so let me be a bit faster. Uncle Ben, maybe he doesn't use these words, so let me start using this word. So try to do better. But before you start thinking about doing better than I do, you need to have what we call a foundation. First, focus on learning from me, learn from me. Okay, thank you.
Okay.
Thank you.
Yeah. Hello everyone, it's me, Jilson Daniel, and today I'm here with our therapist.
Uncle Ben, your uncle,
Yeah.
you're an English therapist, and it's my responsibility to help you overcome your language
Problem.
sure thing.
Well, very good. So, I'll try to take the most out of this opportunity to ask you lots of questions. Okay, the first question is, I really want to know if there is a difference between pronunciation and accent.
Oh my God, I saw that coming. On my way to the show, I knew precisely somebody was going to ask me the difference between these two, and it's sort of confusing. Let me put it this way: I want to be laconic. Trust me.
Okay.
Accent is the way a person sounds when speaking.
Okay.
It's like the natural way you do it. So, but when something is natural to you, or your way of speaking, it doesn't mean that everybody will understand you. Your accent can be tricky to other people. Pronunciation, when we talk about pronunciation, we also have the accent there. You can work on your pronunciation by having an accent. But pronunciation goes way deeper than just the way you sound. Pronunciation is universal. For this very reason, I love sharing this definition that goes: pronunciation is the process or the act of producing the sound of speech, including articulation, stress, intonation, often to some reference of correctness or acceptability. So going back to accent, we don't have what that thing we call. I've watched many videos of people saying that, oh, that accent is wrong, that accent is bad. We don't have that, but we have bad pronunciation, but we don't have bad accent. Accent is all about how you sound based on your language background. But pronunciation is, for example, we focus on your accent, like this accent, that accent. We find a common ground, like in this accent people pronounce it this way, that accent people pronounce this way. We bring them all together and find something unique, and that's what we call pronunciation. Because if there weren't pronunciation, we wouldn't understand one another. Imagine you have your own way of speaking. You say, come on, that's my way of speaking. If you don't understand me, I don't care.
Okay.
Come on, you have your accent. For example, you in Angola, we have some people from Bia. The way they speak Portuguese, sometimes it's kind of difficult to understand them because of the way they pronounce some words. If you're not used to that, that person needs to adapt.
Okay.
Needs to make an effort to adapt his speech,
Okay.
so that the other person can understand. I don't know if you've seen this before. If you talking to a native speaker, that native speaker from Texas, when he speaks to somebody from Angola, who's not a native speaker, or somebody from Nigeria, he will not speak the way he speaks to his people, like back home, people from Texas. He will not use his accent. He will have to focus on pronunciation, and pronunciation is easy to be understood. It's graspable to everybody because we find those things or features watching movies, watching the news. Because if you want to work as a reporter, you cannot be that person who says, no, that's my accent, that's how I speak. No, you cannot do this. You're a reporter, you speak to the world. How would you say that? No, that's how I speak, that's how I communicate. Come on. You have to worry about everybody's yes, not just your yes.
Yeah, but teacher, I'm so sorry for cutting you off.
No, don't worry.
There are people saying that the most important is communication. Yeah, I've seen lots of people saying this. So, I'd love to know if it's possible to have communication with somebody who has a bad pronunciation.
Sometimes it's tricky. What is communication? Communication is all about the listener. In this case, the receiver. People sometimes, like communicators, sometimes think communication is about them. They only think about what they say. That's so selfish. They're full of them. They're full of themselves. You cannot think that way. Come on.
Okay.
You're a communicator. When you speak, you need to walk into their shoes. Try to be a listener. For example, when I speak, I also listen to myself. Some people speak without listening to themselves. So if you don't listen to yourself, you will never know whether the audience actually gets you. You have to focus on them. And pronunciation really helps you. Pronunciation helps you, creates confidence, because most of Angolans who aren't confident speaking English, they have bad pronunciation. I've never seen a person, an English speaker, who pronounces words correctly, who ever complained about confidence. They never do, because they know if they start speaking, nobody will laugh at them. Just by thinking that people will laugh at you, that kills your confidence.
Oh.
Thinking like, okay, I remember a student asked me that people, she tends to think about the Congolese people when they speak Portuguese. She laughs at them. And I told her, so do you think that would be any different? I'm not saying that every native speaker would laugh at your English,
Okay.
but you cannot be so sure that they won't laugh. They might laugh, and sometimes they are even liars. They lie to you. They say, "Oh, come on, your English is good. Look at you," but they didn't understand anything you said.
Oh my goodness.
Because sometimes we only understand. Oh, our English is only understood by non-native speakers because they speak our language.
Oh, okay.
Because
No.
they do not focus on English per se, on the natural sentences. They focus on how you guys structure sentences in your native language. So that makes it easy for them to understand you. But if you're speaking to a native speaker, not just to a native speaker, let's pretend you're talking to somebody who does not speak your native language. He learned English maybe in Asia. The person speaks Chinese and you don't know anything about Chinese. Go talk to that person. That person, like talking to him will tell a lot about your English because you both have different native languages.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Wow. Very good, teacher. So another question is, 2 years ago, at an English activity, I think, with English Fiesta, you said that we need to be selective. So today, I want to know what you mean by saying selective. We need to be selective.
Yeah, we ought to be selective, trust me.
Okay.
Because everybody says, I watch lots of videos not on WhatsApp, come on, on TikTok,
Yeah.
Instagram, on YouTube, people saying, I know you want to sound like a native speaker, so here are some tips for those who want to sound like native speakers. So the remaining question is, who? Native speakers are people. So who? Do you want to sound like Eminem? Do you want to sound like what's that, like takeoff? You want to sound like who? Lil Wayne? Because I'm an English teacher.
Yes.
I'm an English teacher. Maybe you want to be a psychologist. You want to be a communicator. And being a communicator doesn't allow you to speak English that is only graspable to a certain group of people. Your communication must be there for everybody, because you're a communicator. You give voice to those who can't be heard. So that means when you start speaking, everybody gets you, or everybody best understand you. So by being selective, you need to know what you want from life. Are you a rapper? If you want to be a good rapper, maybe you're really good at rapping in Portuguese and you also want to do that in English. Okay, it's okay for you to listen to these people. Listen to them. But if you want to be a great speaker, if you want to work as a communicator, as a leader,
Okay.
you really have to be selective.
Okay.
Find those who really communicate with confidence, with power. Those who have impactful speeches. Yeah, let's think about it. I wanted to put it this way. I don't know if you got me, but that's about the size of that.
Okay, very good. So, teacher, do we really need to imitate native speakers in order to speak with a great pronunciation?
No, really, we don't need to simply imitate native speakers, because the idea it's all about being selective.
Okay.
Imitating native speakers. So what will you get from this? So imitating native speakers is good, is a great way to improve, but I keep telling people, I'm not a native speaker. You can imitate me if you want to improve your pronunciation. If you want to speak well, you can do that. So I'm not a native speaker, but you can imitate me. It's all about your goals. I don't criticize people who say, I want to sound like a native speaker. That's what they want. It's okay. If somebody says, no, you cannot sound like native speakers, come on. That's what they want.
Okay.
But as English teachers, we cannot go around telling our students that they must or they should sound like native speakers do. No, that would be a huge mistake. We can't do that. But imitating native speakers is good, especially if you want to, maybe you want to live in America.
Okay.
So if you imitate native speakers, it would be much easier for you to understand Americans. Maybe you want to live in the UK, so you start imitating a specific accent. But for those learning languages, first, before you go into a specific accent, you have to focus on what we call the standard pronunciation.
Okay.
So it's like I see teachers teaching many words, unnecessary words to their student. Their student can't even speak the basic English.
Okay.
You need to learn, you need to communicate globally first. Global communication matters a great deal to people you meet as a CEO, international conferences, because in international conferences you find people from Singapore, people from Japan, people from Congo, people from Angola, people from Canada. Some of them aren't native speakers. Imagine speaking to them using only American expressions that are only used by American. You'd be making a big mistake. So we need to focus on the basics, like the English that you can easily hear when watching the news, watching interviews, watching podcasts. So things that are too specific, you might learn them if you've already mastered the basics. Yeah.
Okay. So very good. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, it was good. Yeah, it was good. It was an absolute pleasure talking to you. Thank you. Great.
Okay, hi there, people. It's teacher Casa talking to you today. It's my pleasure to have here our therapist Uncle Ben.
Thank you, brother.
And I've got here some questions that I like just to introduce yourself, and I want you to answer this question seriously. Okay?
Oh, that's amazing.
Yeah.
So, you want me to introduce myself?
Yeah. First.
Oh, that's cool. My name is Zola Mazikumanga. But because of my responsibility, everyone thinks Uncle Ben is my real name. But I tell them, come on, Uncle Ben? You really think that's a real name? That's a sobriquet. That's my sobriquet. Uncle Ben is my sobriquet. That's something I use in order to spark learning curiosity to people. So, and it's my responsibility to help you overcome your language problems, whether you're learning English or if you can speak the language, I still can help you. Yeah, I do this.
Thanks.
Yeah.
So, regards the first question, Uncle Ben, tell us about accuracy and fluency in the process of learning English, please. What's the most important, accuracy or fluency?
Fluency.
Why?
Fluency is a lot more important because there are people who do think about accuracy. They end up not communicating. They end up not listening to others because accuracy is good, but that should not be our priority because it's something that takes time to achieve. There are people who've been studying English for years, but they still don't speak it accurately. They might think that once they learn the language, they start speaking it, they can't make mistakes, and that's being delusional. How is that possible? You're a human being. How can you speak a language without making mistakes? How can you speak a language, correctly, like you speak English correctly? You never make mistakes. You do that all the time. That's not possible. And thinking of this, it drains your energy. It drains your energy and you don't get to communicate really well. You lose sight of communication because most of people who worry too much about accuracy, which also in some cases some people talk about proficiency in a language, they talk to you in order to size you up to see, okay, oh my God, that's not how you're supposed to pronounce this word. They stop or they cut you off in order to correct you. That's wrong. But fluent speakers, they really don't care. I'm not saying fluent speakers don't correct others. Of course they do, but they're not worried about correcting people. They're worried about communicating. So like you're talking, you say something like capable, but I still know what you're talking about. It's okay. I will not laugh at you because vegetables. Yeah, we are fluent. We are fluent speaker. We're just speaking. So accuracy, but there are but something that we need to understand here is when we talk about accuracy, we're not simply talking about speaking correctly. Right. We're also talking about how people perceive your message. Like originally, for example, you say something, you say, okay, that's true, and people check facts and they say, okay, that's really true. What this person is saying is true. So that's why people say, okay, oh, that's accurate. That's true. But some fluent speakers, sometimes they make things up. Accurate speakers don't do this because they always want to be accurate. They worry about their accuracy, so they know that if they don't know something, they'd better hold their peace. They better keep their mouth shut. But some fluent speakers are, they are crazy. They take risks. They say, okay, I don't know this word. Maybe, for example, what was that? I remember a day, a guy was saying, they were talking about, what's that word? The word, oh my God, I forgot. But he didn't know that word in English. What did he do? He used a word that was similar to that one, and he described it, but that was not accurate. Like the message was not accurate. That person did not understand properly because he didn't use the right word given the context. And some accurate speakers, they know that if I use this word, people might not understand me well. So I need to be careful. I need to mind my speech. I need to mind my tone. So that's pretty much it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thanks. So Now I want you to talk a little bit about Angolan youth and immediacy. What do you think about it as an uncle Ben that you are?
I beg your pardon.
What?
I couldn't quite get you.
I want to know what do you think about this big topic, Angolan youth and immediacy. Nowadays we've been seeing
Okay.
a lot of young, trying to achieve their dream. And then as Uncle Ben that you are, do you think that you got just a dream, or you still fighting to get your dream? What's your big dream?
Look, I love my country, so which means those who love their country, they just do not have personal dreams. So I'm not going to talk about my personal dreams. I'm going to talk about the dream that involves or includes everybody. My dream is to see my country developed, is to see young people working on new cases, solving problems, working. Yeah, that's something I want. So, but talking about immediacy is fatal, and in our society, immediacy comes from people who instigate immediacy are those in power. Those in power, they instigate immediacy. They post things. They post their wealth. They talk about their cars. They talk about their houses, but they never tell us how they got them.
That's the big problem.
That's what I keep telling people. If you are exposing your things, you have the right to tell us how you got them. Otherwise, you wouldn't be showing us. So they show us. And they tell you, come on, I'm only 22 and I have all these things. And you go, oh my God, I'm 22 and I don't have this, and that kid has it. And something they don't tell you that they got these things from their parents. They will not tell you that thing.
Okay.
And you go, I should get these things too. Think about your parents, mate. Your parents are farmers. Your parents have no cars. Your parents don't have friends in high places. How are you going to have 5 cars in your 20s? It's not possible. In our reality, if a young man has many cars, many houses, there's something wrong with that. Especially if they are young, if they are in their 20s. Because there are many people suffering, and the policy we've got in the country doesn't allow people to grow that big.
Right.
Maybe you could grow. I'm not saying people don't grow in our country, people don't make it. Of course people do. But sometimes the timing doesn't make sense. The timing doesn't make sense. Imagine somebody who has just who started working 2 years ago. Now he has a condo. He has a big flat. So how did he get all this? So that's why immediacy comes from these people, and sometimes those who want things faster, they are not the one to blame. The one to blame are those who expose those things without really explaining to us how they got them. So in this case, it's my responsibility not just to help you overcome your language problem, but to tell you that you are not lost.
Right.
You still have a lot to do. You're a young man, so you're still breathing. You're not dead. That means you still can turn your life around. You still can make money. You still can find wonderful people. You still can make a difference. Because if you can justify how you go your watch, if you can justify how you go your hat, how you go your shirt, that's a victory.
Right.
Because there are people, they have a lot of things, but they don't know. Like you ask them, how did you get these things? They start, dancing around the obvious, like beating around the bush. And that clearly teaches us something, that they are hiding something, or they might be involved in some shenanigans. So please guys, let's not think that Instagram is the real life. Real life is different. People are suffering. People want jobs. People are working hard. I'm not saying people are not making it. Of course, people are making it, but it takes time.
All right.
It takes time, especially if you don't have friends in high places. If you don't, if your father's not rich, you'll have to work really, really, really hard. That's the message I've got for my people.
Okay, thank you,
Yep.
Mr. Uncle. There goes the last question.
Okay, good.
I want to know, besides being an English teacher, what can you do?
Oh my God.
Yeah, I suppose that. yeah, that's my curiosity.
I'm a writer.
A writer.
Yeah, I'm a writer.
What you write?
I write stories. I write movies, but unfortunately, I don't really focus on this because in my country, we don't have that industry yet. People don't really care about this skill. I write interesting stories. I write instructions. I write advice. For example, you asked me something compelling regarding immediacy.
Right.
So this is part of the things I write.
Okay.
And one of my dreams is to become a real like a loaded writer. Loaded means respected, someone who is respected.
Thanks.
Yeah, I want to be a respected writer because when I write, people like I move people to tears. I move people to reflection. Yeah, and I want to keep doing it. I want to keep writing. There's a number of things I do, but I can't quite describe it, put it into words. Yeah, but English is my life. When I talk about English, I'm not talking about Americans. I'm not talking about people from the UK. I'm not talking about Nigerians. Now I'm talking about how I use English. I use English to inspire my people, my generation. I use English as a tool to make ends meet.
All right.
And yeah, English is my life. I will always talk about English.
Okay, so to be honest, I like it for sure, but just to finish, I just finish it. Thanks, no mirror. So,
Let's go. Thank you. Yeah.
Okay, greetings to everyone. Hope you are doing fine. It's me and MJ in our podcast, A Casa da Fluência. Well, at this moment we here with Uncle Ben. Uncle Ben, hi.
Hi, how you doing?
I'm fine, thanks. What about you?
Yeah, doing pretty good. Thanks for asking.
That's great. So, guys, we have some questions to Uncle Ben, and he's going to give us his point of view about such questions. So, the first one is, before I set my first question, we are living in a country where English is still developing. Every day is still developing. So, how important is English for professional career?
English is really important. Everyone knows this. It goes without saying. Because every day we have new companies. Every day we receive visitors, people visiting our country, people wanting to invest, and most of those people, they don't speak our language. Even if they speak French, they know that English is a bridge, like an international language that connects people. So when they go to a Portuguese speaking country, they want to work with people who understand them. I'm not saying that they will not hire those who don't speak English, but in most cases they would hire those who speak the language, because they want people who will report to them, telling like, okay, the soil, there's something wrong with the soil is poisoned, there's nothing we can take from it. Today only 5 people worked, so you need to report to them in their language. And most of those companies, they pay well. People who work for multinational companies, they love working there because their life can change in I wouldn't say in a year. that would be I would be exaggerating. But when they start working there, they notice or experience a significant change in their life. So for those who don't speak English, they have to learn English, because we hear countless stories, people complaining what happened to them. They say their life could have been better if they listened to their English teachers when their English teachers told them that they had to learn English, they had to work hard. So they had opportunities. They were almost promoted. That when they were asked this popular common question, do you speak English? So their answer was no, like a resounding no. And that no significantly ruined their career. And learning English in Angola, especially many Angolans, they dream of traveling to other countries because they watch movies. They go, oh my god, I'd like to be there. By working in those companies, you get the chance to train. You can train in South Africa, you can train in the UK, and most of those trainings are conducted in English. Imagine losing or not going to or traveling to a country you've always thought of traveling to because you don't speak the language. So English is really important, and also because of the equipment. The equipment they get, most of the equipment are not translated. The instructions are in English. Sometimes they don't need a translator. They don't need an interpreter, somebody to come and tell them. They need somebody who can report directly. And it was okay. This guy speaking my language, he's not hiding anything, and he read the instructions, he talked to other people. So if you think English is not important, you're just sinking your professional career. English is important, it will always be. Let's just think about, I'm not talking about engineers, I'm not talking about doctors. Let's talk about knowledge. I don't know if you've ever noticed this. Many Angolans respect for example, we respect our influencers. We go, oh my god, that guy's amazing, that guy's so smart, so intelligent. But when you learn English, you stop respecting them. Why do you stop respecting them? Not because they are bad people. You stop respecting them because you found out that they have been stealing other people's content. So they read content in English, they watch a video in English, and they translate everything. They record videos in Portuguese, pretending the words were, as like they speak as though the word were theirs, but it was not originally theirs. They took it somewhere. And when you learn English, you realize that, okay, the person I thought was smart, he was not smart at all. He's just speaking someone else's mind. That's not his mind, that's not his idea. He got it from somebody. And that's why we have everybody out there, everybody has a say, and we all respect them, thinking that that's their idea, but it's not their idea. They got it from English. So if you learn English, it's kind of hard to be lied to, because you have information. Information is power. If you want to have power, you need information. If you need information, you need English. Yeah.
Okay, that's great. You say that English is a power and knowledge also is a power. Yeah. So we have many countries in Africa who speak English because we know that English is the first language used in business sectors. In every sector, English is the first language used. So it means that we need to invest more in English in our country. So do you believe if we invest in our country, in our people, to learn or motivate them to learn English, are we going to develop in our country?
Yes, we will develop, of course, we will develop. That's what I keep telling people. If you want to succeed, if you want to be powerful, you need to to do what your enemies do, like what other people are doing to succeed. And people, like powerful people in this world, they speak English. And if you want to understand their strategy, if you want to understand how they dance, how they move, you need to speak their language. Like, you want to knock me down, you will not be able to knock me down if you don't know me. For this very reason, people say that the betrayal always comes from those close to us.
Yes.
So, which means we need to understand how they operate by speaking their language, their mind, strategies. Unfortunately, there are people who have knowledge, but they refuse to use them. Imagine if we speak English, we understand their strategies, we understand how they study, we understand how they build their countries, and use that for our own benefit. Our country will develop. As I was saying, information, like books. There are books that are not available in Portuguese, books that have not been translated yet. So the original language, which is English, is much clearer, much simpler, and when it's translated, when people read it, engineers, they kind of made something. They building skyscrapers, but the buildings are kind of crooked.
Yes.
Because they didn't understand the instruction as an English speaker would
Yes.
get. So it's not about undermining our languages, it's about a strategy we can use to learn from their strategies. For example, Japan, China, those countries, people from those countries, they really love their languages. They speak their languages, but they also learn English. Why do they learn English? They know that they have people on the other side who oppose to their policies, people who compete with them. So they need to understand what they are planning.
Yes.
So, and English is the language that you can use to understand what has been built, what could be trending, what people will be doing, what people will be eating in 10 years. If you speak English, you will see the future. But if you only speak Portuguese, you might not see the future. Because there are people here, when you tell them like, oh, I've seen this before, they say, really? I thought it was something new. But those who speak English, they had that a long time ago. Information, until you wait something to be translated, people already know, people are already talking about that. There is war, you don't know there is war in your country, because in most cases, war does not start from within. It can start like away from your country.
Yes.
People doing things like terrible things, and those things they are doing abroad might affect your country too. And when you have that information, everything gets easy. Yeah, everything gets easy. Yeah.
Okay, thank you so much, Uncle Ben. And we know that there are a lot of young people in our country trying to learn English for years, but not succeed. And so, what do you think about finding a solution, a right way to learn? What do you think? What is the right way to study and learn English?
Everybody has their own way to learn things, but those who went to school, scholars, they gathered knowledge. They know exactly what would work for people or for everybody. Sometimes people, it's not about the methods, it's about motivation. People sometimes forget why they started something. People start learning English for a reason. After a while, things get difficult and they go, oh my God, English is so difficult, how can I learn English? I have to stop. But the question is, why did you start? What compelled you to do so? Tell me. You don't know. You remember, you forgot everything. For this very reason, I love what Steve Jobs said. Steve Jobs said something interesting. the only way to do a great job is to love what you do. So when you love what you do, even when everything gets tough, gets complicated, everything turns upside down, you still have a reason to keep going. So what's that reason? You love it. You love that thing. So when you don't love it, if it gets hard, you have a reason to walk away. You will walk away because you don't love it. But when you love it, when it gets hard, you say, okay, I know it's difficult, but I love this. I love doing this. So let me keep trying. Let me keep going until I get this. So people need to, it's not just about the method. They need to understand why they're studying English. I don't need to motivate you. You know that your mother does not have a house. You know that you don't have a good phone. You know that you don't have a nice watch. You know that you don't eat well. You don't eat healthy. So do you need me to motivate you? You don't need motivation. Your life is a motivation. Just look at your life. Say, okay, I don't speak English. And people keep telling me. So whenever whenever I've got a job interview, they always ask me, do you speak English? At the end of the day, you don't get the job. Why don't you get the job? Because of English. And doesn't that tell you anything? Do you need motivation? So even if I give you the best methods, if you're not disciplined, if you're not motivated, if you're not ready to move forward, I keep telling people, for example, when you're learning English, you have to start with the basic things. Imagine you're learning English, you know how to say a mounted police. Maybe you've never seen a mounted police before. Those who ride horses.
Yes.
Maybe you've never seen a mounted police before, but you don't know how to say this. You don't know what a mug is, but you see a mug every day. You know, you see a mug every day. You see like a door every day, window, but you don't know these words in English. But you want to learn those complicated words, complex words. How will you learn English? Focus on the words you often use in your native language. If you do this, it will help you a lot. And learn phrases instead of words. Like, don't learn words in isolation. Don't learn words in isolation. But most importantly is how you commit yourself to the process. If you don't commit yourself to the process, even Ankaban can help. Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Yeah. Please. Yeah.
Okay, Uncle Ben, we are at the end of this episode, and that was really, really good to be here with you. And I have some few questions just to ensure you are okay. So, how did it go?
It went so well. It went as well as planned. I don't know what you guys had in the pipeline, but yeah,
Okay.
It went as well as planned. Like, as far as my plan goes, it was spectacular.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
So, is there any question that you expected to receive here that?
I think
Was not, asked.
you guys were talking. You guys were interested in knowing about exposure. I don't know if you. I don't know how to properly ask that question because I'm the one who answers them. Maybe you're the one who could ask that question better.
Exposure. I don't know if I can talk about it, but exposure nowadays, if you don't have money yet, if you are not succeeded, I think exposure is very, very important. We cannot think that being low profile is good, is normal nowadays.
That's not true. Even me, I used to think that way because a friend of mine was worried about me. Because we lived in a context where people were where people would harm us if we succeeded. So he told me, look, you need to be a low profile. You don't need to show what you do. So that kind of killed me. Because I hid everything I knew. I didn't share what I knew, so things were tricky. I didn't get any money. I was dead broke. because I was hidden.
Okay.
But when I decided to expose myself, things started changing. There are people who are part of my community, people who help me, especially when I need a favor. They are now my friends because of my exposure.
Of course.
So you need to expose yourself. You cannot tell me that you're good at something without being known. I'm not saying that there are not good people, good teachers off the cameras. No, that's not what I'm talking about. What I'm saying is, if you want to make a difference, if you want people to change, you need to be there saying something.
Yeah. You need to influence, and
You need,
there is no how to influence.
of course, you need
if
to
don't have-
influence them.
Yeah.
If you don't do this, if you only criticize without doing anything, without showing the right way, you're making a massive mistake. So you criticize people, you tell them that's not what you should do. Like you share the do's and don'ts, but you're not there to set a good example of it. Nah, you're just wasting your time.
Okay, I have another interesting question. So, who would you consider professional? Someone that is graduated, for instance, in an area. Let's talk about English. Do you consider a teacher someone who is graduated in English teaching, or someone who works as a teacher for a couple of times?
I think they are both professionals.
Okay, someone. Let's put it that way. A teacher, someone that is graduated in English teaching but doesn't work with it, or someone that has been working with English teaching even without being graduated or attended any English teaching professional courses.
Like everything starts from trying, from experience. So imagine you were trained to work as a nurse, as a doctor, but you've never helped anybody, you've never healed anybody. Do you think I'll trust you? Just because you went to school, just because you went to the one of the most universities in the world, you need record. And there are people who don't have that. There are people we don't know which schools they went to, but we know about their stories, we know about their experiences. They help people, they make stories, they make a difference. So if you did not get the chance, because people have to talk, sometimes we talk about our countries without knowing our country. Let's think about the context here. There are many people who do not study in our country, not because they don't want to. The school I went to, it was not easy to enter. The access was tough. There was corruption. Some people started attending that school because they had to pay good money. They paid good money to join those schools, and there were people who were ready. They were willing. They wanted to become English teachers, so they went there. Their knowledge was put to the test, but they failed. So, are you telling me that they should stop pursuing their dreams just because a school didn't want them? No.
Yeah, no. Because here is a very real context, a real example. That is, for instance, you need a driver. Would you hire a driver just because he's certified, or because he has experience with driving?
So here's is kind of tricky, because let's focus on the roads. What do we find on the road? We have the traffic police. So the traffic police.
Okay, let's put like that. Would you help someone who has experience with driving to get a certification, or hire someone who has got a certification but doesn't have experience?
No, I'll help that experienced man, that seasoned driver get
Of
a
course.
certificate. That's what I'll do.
I just wanted to say, yeah. Okay, so we've got the point. I think there is no need to still keep talking about that. Okay.
Yeah, everything has been covered.
Yeah. So that was it. Okay. Once more, thank you, Uncle Ben. Thank you for being here.
My pleasure.
Yeah. I really hope we have you here again, and
Of course you will.
guys, don't forget we are at Casa de Fluencia. The fluency you're looking for.
It's here.
Yeah, it's right here. Okay, and we still have a lot to learn.
Of course
Okay.
we do.
Yeah.
Pronunciation really matters.
Really matters.
Yeah. Bye bye.
Bye bye.